Hey, babies, don't mind me. I'm just back here just dancing to my own music. I love this show. I love it. But what I love more is that you guys come back every single Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to play with me. So thank you for that. I love y'all so much. Anyway, we are coming to you from Greenville, South Carolina. And tonight we have got with us the creator of a new dramatic television miniseries called We Five. So this is the creator, and her name is Elle Conard, and I could not be more excited to have her on with us. Let's go ahead right now. We're going to bring her in. There we go. There we go. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am fantastic. I want to do this so I can see you better. How about that?
Sounds
All
good.
right. All right. So, Ellie, let me put this up because I want people to be able to get to you on email. I'm so excited about this mini series and the fact that you guys are filming this in South Carolina, because for those who don't know, we have amazing restaurants. We have amazing everything in South Carolina. And I know that you guys are getting some tremendous footage.
We are. I'm so excited to be here. Honestly, I had never actually been to South Carolina before I started filming here. But it's beautiful, and I'm getting the true Southern hospitality vibe, and I love it.
Is everybody being super friendly?
I feel like most people are, yeah.
I wonder if it would have been everybody pre-COVID. I don't know.
Yes, we've all been stuck in our houses for a little bit.
We were, and some people have their fancy pants on. And so, we noticed that when we go out. It's kind of weird, Ellie, because I have been saying to people, you know what? COVID, pre-COVID versus now has kind of exacerbated whether you are a super good person or if you have something going on that maybe you need to work on. It's kind of like if you were sassy before, you're on sassy steroids now.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that entirely.
Yeah. So we're going to fix that because you created something very, very special by way of a new series called We Five. And first of all, before we get to that, I really want to learn a little bit more about you and what drives you and how this came about. So have you always been a director in your career, a creator, a writer?
I feel like I've been writing scripts. I think I was told by my mom that I used to script dinner conversations when I was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the other hand, I'm also a choreographer, and I have a master's in stage production and choreography. So, I think this has always been part of me.
So were you one of those little kids that were running around dancing everywhere and putting on shows in the living room after dinner?
100%.
Gotcha. Me too. I got that. Then were you producing films and not films? Were you producing shows in the backyard and making tickets?
Yes.
Okay. So you're my girl. So I did that exact same thing. And people actually came, which is hilarious, but it's in your blood, right? I mean, it's something that you can't deny when you're a creative like you are. And, you're singing in the shower, you're producing plays, you're writing scripts, you're doing all of this. There's absolutely no getting away from it, right?
That's very true. A couple things I think probably played into that. My dad is a rock star, a former rock star at least. He is the bass player from Jay and the Techniques. Mm-hmm. My mom was an English teacher when I was growing up. She's now a retired elementary school principal. I think the combination of the two shot me straight into the entertainment business. Yeah.
Yeah, there was no chance for you. You had to do that.
Absolutely. I also want to give a shout out to my friend Tony Guerrero because he's my dance teacher from Broadway Dance Center. And I have class with him tonight, but he's helped me kind of rediscover my creative side too.
Wow. So did it kind of dwindle or go away briefly, or?
I feel like I was stuck in my house with my kids, and who both are on the show also. Parker and London, who I love so much and I miss so much because they're back in Pennsylvania. They're beautiful people, but all of us in one house for a year and a half got a bit much.
It did get a bit much for people. And I know there were several comedians too that were streaming about that one in particular. I'm not going to bring up who he is because he won't like that, but he has a series out now about it on Facebook, and he and his wife fighting, and he'll kind of pan in on his kids and the things they're doing. He's trying to make a joke about it because it's kind of a lot for people.
Well, in fact, one of the people who is actually on the production team and also a close friend of mine and on the show, Brandon Rainwater, also a comedian. He has been in time for being a dad who used TikTok to get through the pandemic.
Yeah, Brandon did. And in fact, we just had Brandon on the show Monday night. And so that was good. And I've known Brandon for a while, and he was talking about being a comedian, how he's really kind of leveraged what we've all been going through, and how it's been a choice for some people. They've decided to just call it quits, Ellie, on everything they've done and walk away. And others have said, okay, I'm a creative. What can I do that can catapult me after all this is over? And that's one of the things, you're right, that Brandon did. He stayed center on social media the entire time.
Yeah, he's really good at that. And I really appreciate him for, all he's contributed in terms of the show and in terms of comedy. I mean, he's really fantastic.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the show. So We5, you guys are in production now. You are filming. And you're filming in Easley and Charleston. Where else are you filming, or do you have?
We filmed in Philadelphia,
okay,
which is where I'm from, and we've filmed in Charleston, Easley, Greenville. Greenwood. I'm not from here, so
no, that's okay. That's okay. A lot of places, and you're showing a lot of the beauty of South Carolina, but I love that you said Pennsylvania as well. And there may be other places that you're going to be visiting as production moves forward.
Of course. Yeah. We have people from all over the place. My writing partner, Keaton Simons, an amazing person, an amazing writer, and also an amazing musician. He's out in Nashville. I've got people from Florida, Vegas, all over the place.
And I know it's a wonderful group of people. And I had the honor of crashing one of your little get-togethers that you guys have. And there was many people from the production there that night, a super, super group of folks. And it's clear that you guys have, not only do I don't doubt you will have chemistry on screen, but it's obvious you have it off screen as well.
And I think that there's nothing that can compare to that. In a sense, the whole teamwork makes the dream work is really true in this case. And I, instead of building a cast, built a team, and I couldn't be more appreciative of that.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, so let's talk more about the movie. So tell me the premise, and also tell me, because I know you created this, where did it come from?
This is a ridiculous story. But at home, we were watching a presidential debate, of course, early on in the election season. And I've been involved in politics for over 20 years. So this is kind of how it became a political drama. But I was watching a debate, and I thought, I wonder, what if all of these people could be in charge? And then I started writing. And
so the premise being that there was a lottery, right, and you selected 5 people. Yeah, ordinary people. And I think that is the most important part, because I have, as I mentioned, worked in politics for a very long time. I've been a speechwriter. I've been a campaign manager. I've done all sorts of things. And the one thing that remains is that people, regular, everyday people, your neighbor, your cousin, whoever, are the ones who need to be making the decisions in some ways. And I think the concept of your neighbor possibly becoming the president at random is fascinating. It is fascinating. And it's going to be really interesting to watch how the series develops. And I'm very curious to see how the following is going to grow. I imagine it's going to be huge, because really, I mean, you're making a great point, Ellie, with this. And people are disappointed on both sides of the fence, right?
Right.
And we're kind of we're tired, I guess, of being told what to think and what to feel. And if we had different people, somebody probably just threw popcorn at my screen right now. I'm sorry. Okay, it's the truth. But if we had a different process, a different way of thinking, maybe, how could things change? And so I'm super excited to see how you guys are going to do this.
I think it humanizes the whole concept of not just like the presidency, but the government in general. I think knowing that there are actual people in the government makes you think a little bit, but they may not be exactly the people that you want to be there.
Right.
I think in this cast, we have someone for everyone.
And I think that's key. I think that's key. And people that people can relate to. And that you realize, like you said, yeah, it could be the guy down the road. Mm-hmm. So now you were a speechwriter, you've done other things. What is it? And I know you've learned a lot of things throughout the earlier parts of your career. What kind of things have you learned from doing this?
I think I've learned that it is most important to listen to the people around you. I believe in a true ensemble cast situation, and I think we have achieved it here. There's nothing more important, especially when you are venturing out on this crazy journey, or something like it in any facet of your life, than to have supportive people who are capable and brilliant and can make the art that you created, or at least gave them the base for, their own. And I think that comes across in everything we've done so far.
We get ourselves in trouble too, don't we? When we think that we can do it all, and we think, okay, well, I'm the creator of this or that. And sometimes we can be afraid to let other people close to our project, or we simply don't want to, or we don't have trust that maybe they will. But in this case, this was your baby, right?
Right.
You did offer that out. And it's clear to me, Ellie, that you're like, I can't do it by myself. I'm not supposed to do it by myself. I don't want to do it by myself. And you are embracing the fact that, yes, you created this, but by bringing in these other fantastic people, it's only going to make what you've created better.
Exactly. And I think having all of those different perspectives funneled into one concept is what makes it brilliant.
Yeah. And do you find that maybe you change things along the way too?
Of course, yeah. I think that process really began with Keaton. I did have an entire season scripted for the most part, right? Before he came on board. And I think it was really important when he came to take a second look and have a second opinion and a second outlook on where it goes, who these people are. You know, there have been so many things that have changed, but not changed.
Right. But kudos to you for having the confidence too, to be able to say, okay, I'm going to have that second set of eyes, and I'm going to be willing to kind of let go a little bit, because when we have somebody else come in, it's not that they want to take it over. It's that they're looking at it objectively as an outsider, and they're saying, okay, this is already fantastic, but I have a way, if you're willing, to make it even better. Right.
And I mean, how could you go wrong with a team of a dancer, comedian, a songwriter? You know, I mean, these are incredible people.
Yeah. When do we expect to see the series
on? I'm hoping fall.
Okay. We're hoping.
I can't say much about that.
We're humbly expecting it to be fall. How about that?
That is the case.
Well, now, and you guys are shooting like every day. And these are some long days for people that maybe are looking and aspiring to get into this kind of thing. You know, they think, oh, it's so glamorous. We talked about this the other night. It's so glamorous and it's so easy. And I was, having a great conversation with Jason Shirley, and it's not easy. And, you know, like I was telling Jason that when I shoot on one of my other shows, I do 4 shows in a day, and that's 4 different co-hosts and 4 different meals. And you are completely spent at the end of the day. And it's not nearly as glamorous as it looks, is it?
Oh no, not even a little bit. I mean, you know, I've been in situations where I had to stand on a mountain in a field for hours getting bitten by bugs. No, it's not particularly glamorous, but in the end, it's completely worth it, because if you have the opportunity to share your art with a bigger picture audience, you know, there's nothing that can compare to that.
Yeah. There's a lot of models too that'll talk about they look so gorgeous in their photo, and what we don't know is they're standing in like ice water. And
Right?
they've got paper rolls behind their hair to bring it forward. I mean, all these things, and things are not always as they seem, but at the same time, that's a good thing, because that speaks to the level of talent that you guys have. And I think too, don't you agree that it gives an appreciation for the craft?
I think it not only gives an appreciation for the craft, it gives a respect to, you know, like, you have to gain that respect, both personally and for whatever project you are working on. And that is really important, but you also have to have respect for the process. And that's probably more important.
Yeah. What would you tell a little girl or a little boy who sees what you guys are doing and says, I want to do that?
I would say make sure that before you venture out, have a solid team of people, even if it's just 1 or 2 people
Yeah.
behind you, because there always should be somebody that believes in you too. And you need to believe in yourself first and foremost, but it is always not like there's never an easy moment, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I've reached points throughout all of this where I've wanted to just kind of throw in the
Mhm.
towel, and I'm, you know, so stressed out. And the most important thing was having those other people standing right behind me to say,
Yeah.
don't give up. You've got this. And I think that's really the key. But you know what? Anybody can do anything. If
It's
I
huge.
can do this, so can you.
And it's a great message, Ellie, because and I talk about this on this show all the time. People want to give up. They get very disheartened, and it doesn't happen overnight, or they think because they've listened to the negative speak that comes at them, oh, you're not talented enough, you're not thin enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not handsome enough, whatever it is. Okay, that's coming from someone's private agenda. Okay, whatever their deal is. And we have to deafen our ears to that kind of thing. If we know we were called to do something and we have that motivation and that desire to do it, we have to be willing to deafen our ears, to just push it aside and say, I don't care what you say. I know that this, whatever it is, if you're a comedian, if you are a business executive, you're an actor, you're a writer, whatever, have it within yourself to say, I'm going to keep going regardless of who or what tells me that I can't.
Yeah, I think the most important thing really in once you're there and in that process, you need to be able to take advice with grace, because nobody knows everything.
Right. I'm finding out I know very little. So, you know, every day I'm like, oh, good, I know less. I mean,
I feel like that's everyone. Yeah, we all find that out.
But I'll be honest and say there's been times in my life where I thought I knew a lot more than I actually did. And I got humbled very quickly. And it's a good thing, because once you realize, you know what, you're not everybody's bag of chips. And there's people that are going to love you. There'll be people that are going to hate you. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, do you love you? Do you love what you're doing? Are you passionate about it?
And that's a process too, to get to that point. I think, you know, it's very hard to get there. In fact, that might be the most difficult aspect of the inner reckoning with the fact that, yeah, sure, I am the creator of the show, but there's no chance that only I could take this where it needed to go. So I needed to recognize where my strengths were, where my weaknesses were, and accept that, but still be proud of the work I've done.
Yeah, if somebody created a cure for the common cold, okay, they're brilliant. They're a wonderful scientist. They created this and it sits on the shelf because they didn't have it within themselves to release that to the proper marketing people and salespeople and all, you know, all of that. It's just going to sit there. We're not gifted in every single thing.
Well, yeah, and you're right. And while I am also acting on the show and, you know, wearing, I think, a lot of hats, right?
Yes.
I think all of us are, and that's what makes it a collaboration, and that's why it's working.
Yeah. Let's talk about your role within the film.
Okay.
Talk about that. Tell me about your character.
So my character, all of these characters, in fact, are deeply important to me. I think when you write a character, it's almost like having a child, right? But they're all based on either experiences I've had or people I know. And my character, Lacey, who is one of the five, she's kind of a bitter, a little bit hesitant kind of person where she's sort of like, I'd rather really be in the background of this, but she gets tossed right into the fire.
Oh,
And it's kind of fascinating.
it's
Because
fascinating.
it's sort of like what happened here with me. In a
So
weird
you can
way.
completely, yeah, you can identify with your character. So you were kind of thrown into this.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
you're going to be able to draw from that.
Right. And, you know, that's happened throughout my life in various ways, of course. But, you know, I did at least have the ability to take a broader perspective of that all. And I do think it's important that you can relate to whatever story you are trying to tell, because if there is no human element,
Yeah.
there's no element at all.
Do you find that sometimes when we're thrown into things, those are the sweetest moments?
I would definitely agree with that. I've been working on this for about 3 years. And once it kind of took hold, I was shocked at how quickly that process occurred.
That's the thing. Sometimes we'll have a project and it's on the back burner and we think, okay, this thing isn't going to get legs. Nothing's going to happen. I didn't get green lighted for whatever, right? And then a few years later, all of a sudden it starts coming at you at rapid speed.
I think
Right?
life waits for when you're ready.
That's true. That's true. Everything has to get lined up and it's still in the making. And so that speaks to another point to those people who feel like it's not going to happen, or maybe they were delayed and they're not understanding. That doesn't mean a delay is not a denial, right? A delay is simply
Right.
a delay.
And from the beginning of this, I've never had anyone say to me, "Oh, this is a terrible idea." You know, there really wasn't a heavy amount of criticism involved. I got lucky in that way, I guess. Unique ideas are a dime a dozen, right? You know, and you just have to find your niche.
And there's a niche for everybody. And now, are you doing any dancing in this film?
Yes, I am. In fact, actually, my character, as I am, also as a dancer, a ballet dancer, but you know, has been a dancer for her whole life. I think that's an important characterization because dancers have a unique approach to things also.
Mm-hmm. How so?
I think I judge myself probably a little
Oh.
more than other people might judge themselves.
Okay.
You know, having grown up in a room full of mirrors, of course. I think that plays in. I think that there's an element of near perfectionism that comes with that, but there's also an element of protection of creativity. And so my character is similar to me in that way where, you know, you want to be able to visualize what it is that is happening. And in dance, that happens when you dance. Of course, you put on music and then you can see the movement. In writing, that's a little different. I don't think I saw the whole picture of that until I started getting, video auditions from people and watched other people actually playing characters I wrote on a screen. I feel like that was the same manifestation of that, which is kind of miraculous in a weird way, because they're not real people, they're characters, right? Yeah. But if you can believe it and see it right in front of you, it makes it real.
What an interesting and fantastic feeling to be able to see what you've created like that come to life, and through other people, that they get it. They see what you had in your mind as well. And
yeah, it's sort of like listening to a song versus going to a concert.
I love it. I love it. And I can't wait for the series to come out. I'm so proud of you too. I mean, following your dreams like that, Ellie, because not everybody does that. And you took a chance and you listened to the call and you're like, you know what? I can do this. I mean, you got that nudge, right? About, well, what would it be like if no ordinary people ran the country? But you didn't just go, I wonder. You sat down with pen to paper and you said, let's find out.
I did. And I wrote a 19-page script that night, and from there it just sort of took off from that point.
I love it. I'm so glad you were here tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm also looking forward to seeing other projects that you'll be having coming.
I do have other projects.
All right, tell me before we go, because then I don't have to wait.
Well, I can't tell you exactly what they are, but one is a real story, a true story that was written by a federal agent friend of mine. Love you, Sergio. And and another one is kind of a scandalous thing with a woman and her husband, and a lot of drama.
Okay, so get your popcorn ready, folks. She is going to be taking pen to paper again, doing more fabulous things. It's going to be great. I'm going to be following you because I want to find out what's going on. I see big, big things happening for you. I'm so excited. And thank you for allowing South Carolina, too, to be a part of this dream of yours.
I love it. Wouldn't have changed it for the world.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay, how excited are you guys? I'm super excited, super excited. Let me put her contact information up one more time. So that is Elle Conard, who is the creator of the new dramatic TV series, We Five, which we are humbly expecting will be on the air in fall. So in the fall of 2021, look for it. She's got other projects. Go ahead and get with her at ellejconard@gmail.com if you have questions. And be sure to tune into this show every Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you share the show with everybody you know, you like, and you don't like. And also every 11 p.m. on WGGS channels 16 and 8 respectively. Catch me on Good Mood, Good Food. Also every Saturday morning at 9:30, again on WGGS. Until next time, my loving friends. First of all, let me mess up my technology. So hang on, give me a second. I'm doing my own technology. All right, so before I go, here's my little thing. Be loving, be kind, and above all else, be humble. I'll see you next time.